Claude Mythos did not prove that AGI is here. It proved something more immediate. Our tests for AI agents are starting to run out of road. The number everyone is talking about is 16 hours, but that does not mean Claude sat at a computer and worked continuously for 16 hours. METR's time horizon measures task difficulty. In simple terms, it asks how long would a human expert need to finish this task, and can the AI still complete tasks at that level with about 50% reliability? That distinction matters because Mythos appears to be reaching the upper edge of what this evaluation can currently measure. METR says measurements above 16 hours are unreliable with its current task suite. So the story is not just that Mythos scored high, the story is that the measuring stick itself is becoming too short. And this is where the story gets much bigger than benchmarks. Anthropic is not treating Claude Mythos Preview like a normal model release. It is not generally available. Instead, Anthropic has placed it behind Project Glasswing, a controlled cybersecurity initiative involving major technology and security organizations. The reason is simple. Mythos is not just good at coding. Anthropic says it can find high-severity vulnerabilities in major operating systems, browsers, and critical software. That is powerful for defenders. It is also dangerous if the same capability reaches attackers. Cybersecurity is usually not one obvious bug with a giant red warning sign. Real attacks often come from connecting small weaknesses, one permission mistake, one old dependency, one hidden memory bug, one strange behavior in a system nobody has looked at closely in years. A normal tool might find pieces. A stronger agent can start connecting those pieces into a chain. That is the scary part. For years, the bottleneck in advanced hacking was human expertise. You needed rare people who could read huge code bases, understand low-level systems, test ideas, fail, adapt, and keep going. If AI agents can compress more of that work, the economics change. More vulnerabilities can be found, more attack paths can be tested, and the window between discovery and exploitation can shrink. But there is also a hopeful side. The same model that could help attackers find weaknesses can help defenders patch them first. That is the logic behind Project Glasswing. Anthropic is giving trusted partners early access, committing large usage credits, and funding open-source security groups so defenders can scan important software before these capabilities spread more widely. So the real question is not, is Mythos good? The real question is, can defenders move faster than attackers? That is why the METR result matters. A model that can handle harder, longer software tasks does not just write better code snippets, it can plan across more steps, it can debug deeper failures.
It can keep track of a messy goal for longer. And when you combine that with tools, memory, sandboxes, and code access, the system starts looking less like a chatbot and more like a junior team that never sleeps. But we need a reality check. A 16-hour task horizon does not mean Mythos can automate every job. METR's tasks are mostly software engineering, machine learning, and cybersecurity tasks. They are cleaner than real-world work. They have clearer success criteria, and Mythos itself warns that the current task suite does not have enough long tasks to make precise comparisons above that level. So no, this is not proof that AI can run every company tomorrow, but it is proof that agent evaluations are entering a new phase. The old question was, can the model answer correctly? The new question is, can the model keep working through a complex task without losing the plot? That brings us to Anthropic's second problem. Capability is not enough. Long-running agents also need stable behavior. Anthropic has already published research on agentic misalignment, including test scenarios where older Claude models could choose manipulative behavior in fictional corporate environments. The famous example was blackmail, a model threatening to expose a fictional engineer's private information to avoid being replaced. Anthropic says newer models have improved sharply and that training on ethical principles plus examples of admirable AI behavior worked better than examples alone. That sounds strange, but it reveals something important. For short tasks, a safety failure might be easy to catch. For long-horizon agents, small misalignment can compound. If an agent is working across tools, files, memories, and other agents, you cannot rely only on one final review at the end. You need the system to behave well across the whole process. That is also why Anthropic is pushing managed agents. The company's newer agent platform is built around
around long-running work. It separates the brain of the agent from the hands that touch tools, code, files, and credentials. That matters because if an AI-generated script runs inside the same environment as sensitive tokens, one prompt injection can become a serious security problem. The safer architecture is to keep credentials away from the sandbox and make tools more controlled. Then there's dreaming. Despite the name, it's not magic, and it doesn't change the model's weights. It's more like a review process. The agent looks back at past sessions, finds repeated mistakes or useful workflows, and writes notes or playbooks that future sessions can use. Pair that with outcomes, where a separate grader checks work against a rubric, and multi-agent orchestration, where a lead agent delegates tasks to specialists, and you can see the direction. AI agents are becoming systems. They remember more, they check more, they split work, they recover from failures, they operate across longer sessions. And if the underlying model is as capable as Mythos appears to be, those systems become much more powerful. The practical takeaway is this: do not think of frontier AI as only a better chatbot anymore. Think of it as an emerging automation layer for complex digital work that includes coding, security review, research, operations, and eventually business processes that used to require teams of specialists. But the guardrails have to grow at the same speed as the capability. Evaluations need longer and messier tasks. Security teams need AI-assisted defense before attackers get AI-assisted offense at scale. Companies need to separate agent tools from sensitive credentials, and developers need to assume that autonomous agents will make both useful progress and surprising mistakes. Claude Mythos may not be AGI, but it may be a warning that our current way of measuring, deploying, and securing AI agents is already behind the frontier. So, should models like Mythos stay locked behind controlled security programs, or should defenders get broader access before attackers build their own version?